Hello and welcome to Tales from the Glass Table. Today I shall tell you the tale of a guild of assassins and thieves known only as the Jade Serpent that lies in the land of Kalashan and within the city of Kalanport, and the four initiatives that seek to make a name for themselves within the guild. Two thieves, a halfling orphan blessed with luck by the name of Rye, who grew up on the streets, and Aspen the wood elf, who managed to escape her slavers. Then there is also the man known only as Husk, an arcane trickster and secretly a changeling, but only this is known by his teammates. And finally, the team's assassin, a half-elf, primarily known by his codename Mistblade, or by the name he gives in public of Takaris. Only a select few higher-ups within the guild know his true name of Kotorin, and that he is in fact the son of the late former Grandmaster of the guild. The tale starts with them being summoned to a tavern by one of the higher-ups and their handler. They are given the choice to either go straight to a guild's assassination mission, or they may do some freelancing to hone their teamwork skills. They elected to do a few freelance jobs to see how well their skills and abilities can complement each other. Seeking the help of one of the guild's info brokers, who tells them of a high-end jeweler who has just received a fresh shipment of jewels and stashed it in a warehouse within the warehouse district. And also of how one of the Sultan's sons has recently passed away and was buried in the family tombs with all kinds of treasure. After a short debate, the group decides they wish to raid the tomb of the Sultan and wait until nightfall and manage to successfully sneak into the guild. Once inside the tomb, a fierce battle broke out when they were ambushed by a mimic, a battle in which Husk almost lost his hand. But after the battle and a short rest, the four of them were able to loot the tomb, finding many gold, silver, and copper coins, as well as many jewels, gems, and other jewelry items. And Mistblade himself became extra lucky when he found a bronze devil's flask capable of trapping up to 3 people inside of it, and once let out they would have to do as he said for 1 hour, and it would be put back in at any point. He also found a flying broom and some magical slippers known as the Slippers of Spider Climb to allow him to climb to higher places with greater ease. Rye, on the other hand, managed to find himself an adamantine short sword, giving him even greater combat capabilities. With the loot that they found being too much for them to carry out, they elected to give Husk all the items and trap him within the flask, allowing the transport to be much easier. On the way outside of the cemetery, the other 3 were caught by the guards, who questioned why they were in the cemetery after night. They managed to convince the guards that their halfling friend had had a little too much to drink and ran off into the cemetery to pee on his grandmother's grave, and the other 2 came to stop him and take him home before things went too far. They went to Rye's home, where they stashed the loot they had gathered, and decided that since the night was still young, they could still also hit the jeweler's warehouse. They managed to sneak into the warehouse district, and using the Slippers of Spider Climb, Mistblade managed to climb up the warehouse, peering through the ventilation slits and seeing which warehouse it was, and only seeing that one guard clad in golden armor stood between them and their treasure. Mistblade attempted to knock the guard out using his blow dart gun armed with poisonous needles that would put a person to sleep. But the guard was able to resist the sleeping potion, and after a fierce battle with the mercenary, the 4 did manage to kill him, and discovered that he belonged to the Golden Claw Mercenary Guild. Upon the ending of the battle, because one of the companions forgot to shut the door, a lone guard wandered in to see what the commotion was. Before the guard could make it back outside, Miss Blade offered him a deal of 5 gold coins to look the other way and pretend he saw nothing. Being used to only receiving bribes of silver or copper, the guard leaped at the opportunity of gold coins. Once again, the group rushed to gather up all the jewels, gems that they could, and putting them in the flask with Husk once again, and running off to Rise Estate, where the rest of their gems were stored, so that they could go to the fence and sell all they could for additional cost. Thus ends our story for the day. Be sure to tune in next time to see what our rogues get into in our next exciting tales from the glass table.